This past week, I took a workshop on AI, that is to say, artificial intelligence. And I learned many things, but I want to share one thing I learned is that, well, first is that AI is basically mimicking a human being. And the number one reason in this year, 2025, when people use AI is for therapy and companionship. Now, that is not good because underneath that shows that people are lonely. And it's so important that we have face-to-face encounters with one another, but also continuously have face-to-face encounters with God through prayer. And this is the theme of our gospel reading is once again prayer. And so we have two individuals that go to the temple and pray. So let's focus on first the Pharisee. Now let's not totally write the Pharisee off because he does have some good qualities. I mean, he's tithing 10%. He's also going beyond the call of duty with his fasting. So we can learn from that. Are we doing what we ought to be doing with our religion? Are we living up to the standard? We probably all have a little ways to go on that one. And where the Pharisee goes wrong is he's obviously self-sufficient, self-righteous, and his prayer doesn't really go to God. But we can learn from him, and we all have a little bit of Pharisee in us. Okay, so we always constantly come to God's mercy day by day. And every time we gather a mass, is not we start out with is asking for God's mercy. We stand in solidarity that we're sinners and we need God's mercy, which relates to the tax collector. Now, the tax collector would have been very isolated. He would have been very lonely in his life, and he deceived people. He was greedy. He took advantage of people. So he understands his inner being. But when he prays, it's not a prayer of self-pity. It's one that he recognizes the great mercy of God. God is so merciful. God is infinitely merciful. God is infinitely loving. And this is what we hold on to. And this is really what motivates St. Paul in our second reading, the letter to Timothy. And Paul knows that death is approaching. He has a suspicion. He senses that death is approaching. And he's fought the good fight. He has not had it easy, but he's continued to be alive and well because of the mercy and the grace of God. Now, that was a bit of a pause there, but that's okay. It gives you a little bit of time to take in all this good stuff. But yet he perseveres, and he knows that he is going to be made right, receive that crown of righteousness through the grace of God, through the presence of God. And each and every day, we never know when Sister Death, as Francis calls it, is going to meet us. We never know. And sometimes the people who know that Sister Death is coming give us a whole different perspective on just celebrating the simple things of life. And really, that's often where we will experience God, is in the simple things of life, and what a gift it is. And so may we continue to be humble. May we continue to recognize our need for God and God's mercy. And as we gather on the table, Lord, may we be strengthened, as we come to pray, that we come to receive the fullness of mercy as we receive the body and blood of Christ, so that we can be merciful and gracious to the people that we encounter.